have the incredible Sonequa Martin-Green joining us, and we're going to have a very candid and fun parenting conversation amongst all of us ladies. We are going to do the Toon Squad versus Goon Squad parenting edition, and I'm going to go around and call on all of us, including Sonequa, to give us that Toon Squad parenting win moment that we all have, and we're so proud of us. We feel like we've got a handle on this whole parenting thing. And then the Goon Squad fail moment, where you look at yourself and go, how did anybody let me be a parent? So then after that, and we got that out of the way, then we're going to have some conversation about Space Jam: A New Legacy. So first off, Sonequa, will you kick us off with your Toon Squad win parenting moment?
Okay, here we go. You know, I must say, just recently, probably about a couple of months ago, my son, who's 6 now, said at dinner that he feels like he hasn't really had to sacrifice that much from the pandemic, because we were talking about, we were telling him how proud we are of him, and I was telling him that, you know, I just really appreciate how he's been handling everything, you know, having to give up things, having to do things in such a different way. And he said, well, you know, I don't really feel like I've had to lose a lot of things in the pandemic. You know, things have actually still been really, really good and fun for me, you know. And I just was like, yes, because we've tried so hard to like make sure he knows what's happening, so he has ownership and make it an adventure, and you know, all of that. So that was great to hear.
I would say that's a huge win right there.
Yes,
right there. That's a huge win.
Thank
yes.
you.
And then what's your fail moment that we've all had?
The fail moment is let's see. You know what is a fail moment is when they fall and hurt themselves. There was one time where my son fell and hurt himself, and I wasn't able to get to him fast enough. So it was actually my husband who was physically closer to him, so he actually got to him first. He ended up being fine. It was just like a sort of bump on the head, but it did scare him, and he was you know, he was upset. But I had tried to get there and didn't, and he was like, "Mommy, why didn't you get to me?" You know, like, or why?
Yeah.
I was like, I tried. Yeah. Daddy was closer.
We're gonna blame him. Let's just blame him. Those are great moments. Okay, now we're gonna kind of throw it out to our crowd. So Carolina, why don't you share with us your Toon Squad win and your Goon Squad fail?
Hi, I'm Carolina from What C Says. I just want to say I'm a huge fan. So hi. So my big win, I would say, is my 4-year-old is, so I have two toddlers, a 4-year-old and a 2.5-year-old. And we had a friend come over, and instead of saying, you know, hi, you know, he says, hi, what are your pronouns? So I think that's a big one for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for us. And yeah, I was like, what? Like, and we have that conversation with them, but he just says, hi, you know, what are your pronouns? So that was a good one for us. That made me happy. A fail, one that comes to mind is more of like just like a funny moment that I'm like, oh my gosh, I should really be careful what I listen to. My spouse was in the car with the boys, and they came home, and they're like, why do our boys know how to sing every single word to Usher's Yeah? And I'm like, no reason, it's fine.
It's a good song.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are great. Okay, next up we've got Tessa Smith.
Hi, I'm Tessa with mamasgeeky.com. And the win would be my 10-year-old got moved to virtual schooling, obviously, during the pandemic, and she was really struggling with it. And when we decided to bring her back, I spent some time with her going over math and ELA, and then she got an award as the second most improved in school. So I thought that was a big deal. I was so proud of her, and also like, good job, Mom, for taking that time. So that was really super exciting. And
so what's your fail?
Oh, it's got to do with my youngest. She's 8, but about 2 years ago, we were going on vacation, and I told her I packed her Snuggle Bunny that she cannot sleep without. And apparently I did not pack her Snuggle Bunny. And she has yet to let me forget that. She spent a week without her bunny that she couldn't sleep with. She fell asleep fine, of course, but she still doesn't let me hear that. Every time we pack, are you sure you packed Snuggle Bunny? So she hasn't.
At least you didn't lose it permanently.
Exactly. I would have had to buy a new one.
Yeah, that at least you salvaged that. Mm-hmm. Okay, the next one's going to come from Amy Fulcher from As the Bunny Hops.
Hi. So mine are actually the fail and the win are connected. I've got a reputation in my family. I'm the fun one. I'm the person who gets to do all the cool stuff and take everybody cool places and give them cool things. So that's the kind of expectation they have. And I love being able to do that. But to tie that in, there was one time after a day of like feeding everybody in the family, giving them all kinds of junk, taking them on rides, doing all kinds of fun stuff. We're on a road trip home that's about halfway into the hour trip home. And my niece threw up over everything in the back of the car. And to make it worse, we're in the middle of the interstate. I completely panicked. I was like, are you okay? And she was like, I feel better now. I just kept driving. And we get home and I'm telling everybody and they're like, why didn't you stop? Why didn't you? And I was like, I don't know. I just kept driving. I was on the interstate.
At least you got them home. And safely, might I tell you. So that's kind of a win.
That is.
I love it. Okay, our next Goon Squad moment is going to come from Ashley Saunders from Ashley and Company.
Hi. So my win is, well, the kids have been pretty great during the pandemic. Kind of like you were talking about your son. It's kind of just like, I'm just rolling with it. My daughter struggled a little bit with virtual schooling. I think everybody kind of did that, but she pulled it out. And my son, man, I feel like he's thriving, honestly. He posts up all comfortable on his beanbag going to schoolwork and he's great. I mean, he's good. They're good with wearing their mask and all that stuff, like all the stuff that we all worried about. And no fighting about it, which is great. So that's the win. And the fail, well, there was our first trip to Disneyland and my daughter decided at the Starbucks in downtown Disney to kind of go into that there's like a little corner area where you can see like drawings or something on the wall. And we couldn't find her because we didn't see her wander off. So we're freaking out because there's, no magic bands or any way to like track her like there's at Disney World. And she was just there the whole time. And she's like, you just left Starbucks without me. I saw you walk out. Why did you leave me sitting here? And I was like, I didn't. I thought you ran. Yeah. But anyway, so she's good. We're good. We had a great trip, but yeah.
But those are the heart-stopping moments that I think every parent has when you look in a store and you can't see your kid. It is the most terrifying of your life. And you think, this is it. This is where my whole life changes.
That's right. For sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing it. Okay. Next is going to come from Candy Palooza. What is your Toon Squad and Goon Squad moments?
Oh no, you're muted.
Oh, do you mind unmuting, Candy?
Sorry. I was muted. Hi. Well, mine's a combo. We're a military family and every 2 to 3 years we move. And when my son started first grade, we moved to West Texas and the fail was that, every time we move, I have to find my kids new friends. They do some of the work, but if mom can help, I can help. And he had met he had made a friend in school and he said, look, mom, that's my friend Preston. Like, that's his friend. There's his mom. Ask him if they can come to my birthday party. So I'm in my car and they're walking by because she's, this is after school. And she's walking by and I'm like, okay, Candy, you can do this. Just do it. So I roll my window down and I'm like, hi, I'm Candy. My son, we're new here. He just, he's friends with your son. Would you guys come and to a birthday party with us? And they were like, sure. And it's 14 years later and we are in Arizona now. So we drove through West Texas and we stopped to see them. We're still friends. So that was, yeah. It's a fail. Like I said, it's a fail when we move. but it's a win when I can do that for my kids. So
Wow. Your kids must be super resilient too.
I think so.
It's amazing. Okay, our next Goon Squad moment is going to come from Lynette Fernandez from Fantastic Life.
Hello. I was trying to think of specifics. I feel like I fail so often. A win, I would say every time I think like they get it, like they know how much I love them and how much I sacrifice for them and how much they want to do for others. I'm like, yes, they're sort of getting it. A fail, I would say, happened about 10 years ago. I don't know what I was doing. I was leaving the grocery store and my kids were probably about, I don't know, 5 or 6, and my son was like 3 or 4. And I was putting everything to the car. They were in the car, and for some reason I got locked outside of the car and they were inside the car. So I'm like going crazy, like freaking out, thinking, how am I gonna get my kids out of the car? What's gonna happen? And I'm going back and forth, and my daughter rolls down the window and says, like, what, mommy, I can't hear you. And I'm like, oh my God. So then I was able to obviously get into the car. So it was a win because they were okay, but I felt like the worst mom in the world when I thought I locked my kids in the car.
Way to problem solve, though.
Yeah, that wasn't me. That was all my daughter.
Well, I'm saying congrats. You gave them the tools to problem solve.
Thank you. I'll let the therapist know.
Yeah, exactly. Therapy bills. The next moments are going to come from Amanda Taylor from Guide for Moms.
Hi. So first, my win. Well, my kids are very much allies for everything, and my daughter has, some friends, and one of them are transgender, and they went to use, I think they were at the mall. Yeah, they were at the mall, and they wanted to use the restroom, and one of them felt uncomfortable going in the boys and the girls, so they went to like the family restroom, right? And the security guard came up and started, you can't go in there, and she stood up for him and got kicked out the mall, but I was proud.
Oh, wow.
That she stood up for him. So that's a win. And then fail. Well, I like this story, so I was going to tell this one. That one time we were in, when they had buffets, remember that? I miss a buffet, and we're eating and everything, and they had like the waiter coming around with the dishes and getting everybody's dishes, and then he like dropped the whole tray, and it was like just shattered everywhere, and like it got so quiet. But my son turned around, and all of a sudden he goes, "Wazam!" and then everybody, I mean, I thought it was a little bit of a win because his comedic timing was like perfect, but like by the faces of everybody, they were like, "Oh," so I guess that's my fail.
At least it's funny. Okay, our next Goon Squads are going to come from Megan Cooper from Jump Monkey.
Hi, thank you so much for being here. My husband and I are huge Star Trek fans. So one of my favorite wins is that I have 2 girls, but my youngest, who's 9, loves to eat like all kinds of food. So she's the opposite of the picky eater. She tries everything. Like she loves sashimi and cooking her own meals and doing all this other stuff. So I feel like she's my win that I've succeeded in good nutrition for one child. And then my fail is I actually lost my family at a theme park once because I was walking too fast to get to a ride, and I completely lost them in the crowd and was just like turned around. I'm like, oh, I guess I should wait for my family.
Well, at least they were together and they weren't all separated. Okay, our last Goon Squad moment's going to come for Christy Rippey from Lights Camera Mom.
Hi, thanks for being here. It's nice to see you. So I think my parenting win last year during the pandemic, my son, who was 9 at the time, he organized a fundraising bike ride for the C&O Canal, and he raised over $13,000 to refurbish the C&O Canal. He learned how to bike ride, and he did a 50-mile bike ride that he organized all by himself. So that was really awesome. And then my parenting fail, I would say we did a Disney cruise vacation right before the pandemic in January 2020. And we actually, kind of similar to some of the other stories, my 3-year-old wandered away from us, which was super scary, around the pools on the Disney Dream Deck. My husband and I were swapping places on who was going to ride Aqueduct with the older one. But kind of a win embedded in that, we've always taught him how to identify workers when we go to theme parks, when we go places, and he was able to figure out who worked for who the lifeguards were and who everyone was. And he went to a safe person and found his way back to us. So that was really good.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, thank you all for taking the time to share your Goon Squad moments with us. You know, Sonequa got to be enlightened by everybody's real life mama drama.
Yeah.
But thank you guys. And Sonequa, thank you again for taking the time to listen to everybody and chat with everybody and have a candid conversation amongst us ladies.
Yeah, thank you all. Those were wonderful stories. This was so lovely to be able to share this time with you amazing mothers. And, you know, I'm going to be, you know, I'm like taking notes and stuff because I just got a fresh daughter now too. So I appreciate all of you.
Circle back, but first we're going to launch into some film questions. So we're going to start with Tanya Lamb from Lola Lamb Chops. Tanya, what question do you have for Sonequa about the movie?
Hi, Sonequa. Hi. So, you know, having this candid conversation about being moms and everything, I remember there was one point in the movie when I know Malik was not your son, but in the movie, but you served him a look, and that was like a solid mom look that I know I have given my children before. So has there ever been a point where you've had to use that look on your kids?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think if you can get it down to a look, you're doing good. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a little different than my look as Kamaya in the story, but I have the look, you know, and then, you know, my son's like, okay.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Our next question is coming from Robin Davis from Mom the Magnificent.
Hi, I just want to say you were so fabulous in the film. I love just what a caring, strong mother figure you were. So thank you for that. My question is, were you a fan of the original Space Jam or basketball growing up? And if so, what's it mean to be a part of Space Jam: A New Legacy?
Thank you for that compliment. And yes, I absolutely adored the original film. I was 11 when it came out. It was a big deal in my home. I almost grew up on that film. So it meant a lot to me. It still does. And so being a part of this new iteration, you know, it means a lot to me because of that, because here we are furthering the legacy of this classic. And, you know, I think it's really important. I think it's been modernized in such a beautiful, poignant way, in a way that can really speak to audiences today and even beyond today. And that is one of the things I love the most about it. In addition to playing this strong yet graceful matriarch, is also just knowing that this film is bigger and brighter and deeper than the original. So hopefully it gets into people's hearts like the original did.
Thank you so much, Robin. Our next question is coming from Rhonda Chavez from Nanny Mom Rhonda.
Hi.
Hi.
My question is, how was it working with the legendary Lola Bunny?
Oh, I love Lola Bunny. Lola Bunny is goals, is she not? She's so strong and tenacious and secure in herself. And yeah, man, I really loved, you know, being able to share space with her. You know, we had cardboard cutouts on the day, but just the idea of it is really amazing.
I think we should start a movement that says, what would Lola Bunny do?
That's right.
That could be our own mottos to keep in our hearts.
That's right. It's like, I'm on my Lola Bunny tip today.
Exactly. I like it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rhonda. Our next questions come from Renisha Springer from Queen Thrifty. Renisha, do we have you?
Yeah, I'm on mute. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
I'm so used to being at work on mute. So my question is, I was actually able to see the film, and I'm a huge fan of The Walking Dead. And so knowing how cast are able to connect after the movie or in between shots, were you able to connect with the two young men that you were able to shoot with, and what was the relationship with LeBron Offset? I heard he's a really funny guy.
Yes, he is very funny. And thank you for that question. We had a good time together. We really did. Sierra and Cedric and Harper are some wonderful young people. They are. And of course, LeBron is wonderful as well. And so we all just got along really easily and nicely. We were a family like that. And we would have a lot of fun together off screen. We would always do riddles together, which was really funny, and set the stage for lots of shenanigery behind the scenes. So we had a great time together. And LeBron is great. I think he knew what was going to be expected of him leading this film, even though he had never done it before. I think he took that championship mindset and that leadership style that he has on the court. I think he took it to the set and to the story. And so because he was just 110% prepared and ready to go, it was easy. And we were able to just dive into the story together, and we all had such a great time.
Thank you so much. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, our next questions come from Heather from the Pink Ninja blogger.
Hello. I've always wondered, what is the most difficult part of filming a movie that splits between animation and live action?
Great question. I think the most difficult part is just rounding out the world for yourself in your mind's eye. You have to employ your imagination to such a degree that it really does take mental fortitude. It does, because it's like you almost have to you have to imagine this world, and it has to be so specific that it's so real to you that you can taste it, touch it, smell it, all those things in your mind, so that you can fully and authentically interact with it. But it's almost like you have to keep it alive for yourself. And so it takes a lot of focus, you know what I mean? And a lot of intensity and concentration. So I think for those kinds of worlds, which I am familiar with acting in, it's like, all right, imagination, let's go. You gotta keep yourself sharp and keep yourself focused.
That's
Thank
amazing. You. I do not envy you there. Our next question is going to come from Kami Allen from the Mama Diaries.
Hi. So I found your character incredibly genuine and relatable, just in regards to being a mom and just having that sort of intuition of, having your child's best interest at heart. And just because you don't necessarily think like what they're doing is what like you want them to do, you're just going to let them be their own person. And you were always LeBron wasn't, but you were on your game with that. Mm-hmm. What are you hoping for parents to take away from this movie? The movie is hysterical, but there's also a lot of great, heartfelt moments and takeaways, I thought.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. I agree. I think that the film is a lot deeper than the original, because, at the root of it all is this family, and learning how to sacrifice for your family and learning how to love your family as their authentic selves, right? As you were saying. And I think that, you said it, actually, that's what's really powerful about this, is that you see this family learning and growing and changing together. And as Kamaya, it's so important for the matriarch of this family to be the one that can sort of strategically empower her husband, her children. She knows how to give space for her children and for her husband as well. And that's inspiring and to me, to see that kind of grace in action, and to see that kind of graceful leadership in action, and also to see that partnership in action as well, because the family could not survive without her. You know that it couldn't, and the family can't survive without him either. And so you see them co-helming this family together, especially a family like this that's in the public eye. Things are very difficult, and it's a big job to manage and nurture a family like that. So I it's one of the things that I love and respect the most about this iteration of Space Jam.
Very, very true. Okay, one of our next questions will come from Janet from Whiskey and Sunshine.
Hi. So you're a parent, and obviously you play a parent in the movie. Are there things that you draw from as a parent in real life that you use to kind of, put into your character in the film?
Actually, no. I mean, other than the knowledge of what it feels like to be a mother, right? It's something that I feel like you don't really have context for, or not full context for until you're there, until you're, someone's mother. But I don't use my own life when I'm telling stories. I only pull from the story itself, and those are the parameters with which I use, and those are the boundaries that I set so that my imagination can run freely within that. So beyond just me, Sonequa, creating Kamaya, and so me, Sonequa, as a mother is going to create Kamaya in a way that a mother would, that is how it related to my life in the story. Other than that, I just pulled from what was on the page, which I really appreciated.
We were here. It's great. Thank you so much, you guys. We have 2 minutes left. So if anybody has their Goon Squad, Toon Squad moment that they'd love to share, raise your hand and I'll call on you quickly before we have to say goodbye to Sonequa.
I can.
Okay, great. Jana, go for it.
So my oldest just graduated high school, which we're very excited about. That's my win, my Toon Squad. And my Goon Squad is one time we lost our child at an amusement park. It happens.
It does happen. And you are not the only one that has said that today, by the way.
Or not at all.
So you can take solace in that. Okay, we have time for one more. Anybody else? Okay, Tanya.
Okay, so my parenting win is every October, I dress up in a different costume every day to pick up my kids from the bus stop to basically teach them not to care about what other people think about you. So that's my win. And then my fail is, so I moved my family to Florida to be closer to theme parks, and I have an annual pass to a certain theme park and they do not. So I leave them a lot to go hang out with my friends there. And I'm like, peace, I'm going to go get a churro.
Those are both wins, Tanya.
Those are wins.
What are you talking about? I love these.
You better know what you need.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you all so much for taking your time. Thank you so much, Sonequa, for speaking with us today and being candid about your Toon Squad, Goon Squad moments. Remember, everyone, please make sure to spread the word and have everyone go see Space Jam: A New Legacy when it's out July 16th in theaters and on HBO Max. So thank you guys again. Thank you, Sonequa.
Thank you. It was so great hanging with you guys.
Thank you.
Talk to you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again.